the minion changes for Necro look really good. Best Necro class I played in any RPG. Wow, that's awesome. That's a high bar. That's a high bar. There's a lot of great Necro classes out there.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. Mike, one of the senior developers at 11th Hour Games, held his normal Friday Q&A live stream on Twitch, which means I get to bring you Dev Chat 84. As always, Mike answered lots of great questions from the community and gave us some spoilers that we have never seen before, coming for 0.90 on March 9th. And what we're going to do to start off Dev Chat 84 is allow Mike to rant or explain a little bit about trade.
The game addressed the trading poll. Any news on them walking back on the no trading decision or not? Well, it would be impossible. I'm going to get a little indignant here. It would be impossible to walk back the no trading decision because it doesn't exist. It was a very large amount of rhetoric that came out around the announcements saying that we said no trade, which we didn't, which was unfortunate that happened. So no, I think is the answer to that question. The conversations around trade never stopped. We've some people saying it sounds hilarious. I wonder what happened. I get a little behind in chat sometimes, and then I see comments about something that happened a while ago, and I'm not sure what the thing was. Anyways, trade. The trade conversation never finished. 0.9 will, like everything that's in that document is still the same, and nothing changes. The trade system that launches with 0.9 is still going to be the item gifting system that we initially announced. That's not changing.
Yes.
That document, that trade post, doesn't cover anything after 0.9. It is strictly talking about 0.9. So, everything after that is TBD. We are.
You could tell Mike is so sick of talking about this.
That will allow more people to have fun with the game, because we do know that not everyone is pleased by the prospect of item gifting being the only way to trade items going forward and through 1.0. The goals that are outlined in that document are still very relevant. We don't want to invalidate players' ability to go out in the world and kill monsters to find gear if that's the way they want to play. We really don't want to do that, and we don't want to invalidate that. We want to leave that as a very core gameplay option that people have if they want to. And I guess the important part of that is be able to do that if they want to and still feel like they're being efficient. Because I think that's a big concern a lot of people have, is that you might say like, oh, well, yeah, you can still do that. Okay, great, but it's not efficient, and therefore I don't want to do it. And so like that might be a key piece that's missing, is that we want people to be able to still feel like they're being efficient when they're playing the game that way. And we really don't want to.
We don't want PoE.
Physically.
I get it.
Physically is kind of a weird thing to say when you're talking about a video game. But we want people who are interested in playing the way I just described, and people who are interested in playing with a trade system, a more open trade system, if that were to be implemented, like hypothetically. We still want those people to be able to play together, if that's possible. I don't know if that's possible. There's a lot of things we want to do, and that document outlines a lot of things we really want to do. There are a couple things that when we've been discussing trade systems in the past, before all this talk had come out, when we were discussing possible trade systems to expand on this in the future after 0.9, we had made some assumptions, or assumptions might be the wrong word. We figured some things based on evidence we thought we had, or evidence we had gathered, or logic, or I don't know what you want to call it. But there were things we had figured out that the trade survey did kind of make us rethink how we were looking at.
I wish I could see the results of that trade survey.
And I'm not going to share the results of the survey specifically. There were some questions that, like, I can talk about generally. There were some questions that I'm like, oh, obviously I know what the answer to this one's going to be. No question. And you look at it and you're like, Okay, well, that is a complete even split for every single answer. Great, that tells us nothing. And not always, but there's some funny things in there that you're like surprised. There's some surprises in there. And there were other questions where you're just like, yeah, obviously, great. We didn't need to ask that. But yeah, I think it's really important that we're not looking to it's really important to note that whatever system ends up happening, and it's still possible that it could be exactly what's in 0.9. Could be what 1.0 launches with. It is possible that could happen. I really want to stress that there's no new information about what's going to happen with 1.0. There has not been any information with what's going to happen with 1.0. It's just, this is what 0.9 is, and we're going to go from there. That's where we're at right now. We know what 0.9 is, and we're taking feedback to build what we can for 1.0 to make it work for as many people as possible while maintaining the priorities and goals that we have established.
And to make it work for as many people as possible, the majority wants some form of trade. What does that mean? Now Mike's going to talk about the Grail stash tab a little bit. If anybody out there has ever played Undecember, it was really cool. Anytime you found a new unique, you could put it into this certain place, or you can put your skills. And it was a way to track and see exactly what items you have found. And it's actually kind of extra storage space. Can they do that in Last Epoch?
As for the Grail stash, it might. So we've actually talked about this one quite a bit, and it might be presented a little bit differently than a normal stash tab. So like the big thing is people say like, okay, well, you still want to be able to pull the item out, or maybe not. Like that's sort of a debatable thing. Like, do you need to be able to pull the items out or not? And because there's so many uniques that could get more and more and more, the tab for the Grail tab. I say Grail tab, if anyone's wondering, Holy Grail is sort of a term for finding every unique in the game. So a Grail tab tracks every unique in the game and if you found it or not. So like we were considering at one point having something where it would you could put an item into this Grail list and it would show up more similarly to something like this. Whereas an organized list, it would still you still mouse over it, it still has the tooltip, so it still shows what the item was, but it's not shown in a big grid like this because it's more about completing a checklist than having this system, really. And then there's the question of okay, well, do you make it removable or not? If you don't make it removable, then there's no room for using that to cheese storage space, which is great. Yeah.
Check out what they did in Undecember. I know Undecember has a bad rap. I gave it a bad rap. Really cool system. This next question gets asked a lot.
All right, next question. Will multiplayer be friends only, or will it be matchmaking system, lobby system? The 0.9 will not launch with any sort of automated lobby matchmaking system. If you want to join a party with someone, you'll have to communicate through chat in game or through another external communication system and add up to your party. You don't have to. They don't have to be on your friends list to join the party. That is an easy way to be able to join more than once, but no, they do not need to be on your friends list.
Leak number 1.
Is there something? I wonder what that is. Oh yeah. Drink lots of water.
It's got a bear face.
Yeah, we're focusing a little bit on enemies today in our spoilers.
Right?
Here's a new enemy. You'll be seen in game. All right, this is the 3D model. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped on these. I think they're pretty great.
I'll take it as a minion. I don't know if I like this face.
Yeah, it's creepy. That's right.
It's kind of. This one is definitely creepy and weird.
Can I pet it? Probably not, right? I could try. Right?
Like a Lagon minion.
Ah, it's got my hand!
Leak number 2. Rapid fire.
Ba-ba-boom.
He's very spiky.
There we go, yeah. This is a new enemy model. This actually is an enemy that's already in the game that's being replaced with this model, I think. Like 90% sure on that. One specific enemy.
Look at that back piece.
This isn't even a 0.9 1.0 question, just more of a long term.
See, that's what's going to be coming. No wings. You could give us stuff like this as a back piece.
Like when you get to Majelka, definitely, yes. And you will start to see them pop up in 1.0. Maybe even 0.9. I don't think. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but you will start to see some more cinematic stuff pop up in there, and like yes, it'll be skippable and
more cinematics. Leak number 3, and my favorite.
Sure, that is. Well, you'll see. Yeah,
that's why it goes in the thumbnail. A boat.
Wow. Pretty.
I could draw that.
Yeah. So we're doing that sort of stuff, which is great.
We need more of this kind of stuff.
Ben White face. There we go. Yep. I'm sure this will be at some point released as a like a big old file for background stuff. This file right here is compressed down a lot.
I've already stolen the image. I'm sorry.
Just to fit on.
All right, everybody, we have come to our final question for Dev Chat 84, and I really like this question, and I definitely think they should introduce it. It's about randomization and things just popping up out of nowhere while you are playing endgame. Mike, as always, thank you for continuing your Friday live streams. The community truly appreciates it. Always a great way to connect with you and the EHG team. If you like this video, make sure you sub. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the comments. Mike, take it away.
Do you have any plans for random events that could happen in the maps? Like how in PoE you load up a map and there could be a Ritual, Legion, and Harvest. Kind of gets stale pretty fast. There's no yeah, if there's map, mob, and boss. Absolutely, yes. That is the sort of thing that we definitely want to add to the game. We've got a few different versions we're tossing around. I think one of those things will likely, probably, maybe, sort of, I hope, like, trying to make sure I'm not promising this, be part of one of the early cycles. So like 1.1. or something, 1.2 would have a mechanic like that in it, or maybe multiple mechanics like that. And because that's definitely a piece that we know needs to happen in the monolith is having unexpected things happen. You're playing and like you played the same monolith map 100 times, but this time some dude runs out of a corner screaming with an axe at you, tries to chop your head off, and you get close to killing him. At the very last second, he stops you and invites you into a house and gives you a mission to go find a special treasure chest in another monolith, and you gotta go find that, and it has a big epic unique in it with guaranteed legendary potential. I don't know, I just made that up as I was talking. My point is that having things like that are unexpected events is really positive, because it breaks up the gameplay, it subverts your expectations of what you're going to get into, or also having things that maybe random events that you know going into, like, okay, this monolith echo, I know going in there's this new effect on it, and it's going to change the way I approach that. It's going to cause me to maybe rush it as fast as I can, or it's going to cause me to go really slow and try and kill everything in the entire map, or maybe it's going to cause me to hunt for all of the rare mobs in the map or something like that. You know, like something that changes your gameplay because there's some random event that's happening on it. These are all sorts of things we discuss.